what time it is. Yes, you do. It's Saturday. It's Renovation Nation time. Oh yeah. Hope everybody had a great 4th. Yes. We did. Yes, we did. Oh, and I was sadly enough though that it was the holiday, and last week's show we had to turn in a little early, and I apparently turned it a little late, so you didn't get all the show and found out what was coming up this week. Because this week I sort of come to an epiphany last week about this is Renovation Nation's 9th birthday today. We were the first Saturday after the 4th of July in 2017, and a lot of craziness. I guess I need to slow down this birthday party, and because I got somebody here today as part of the birthday party. But I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show called Renovation Nation, coming at you live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And it's another Saturday. It's going to be a recap Saturday. I've got someone in that hadn't been in here in a couple years, I think now. It wasn't last year, but it might have been a year before that. But he was here in the beginning. And I got Mr. Chris Gailbreath. What's up, big man?
What's happening, man? It's good to be back.
It's a long, strange trip it's been.
It has been a long. I didn't realize when you said 9th anniversary, I was like, man,
9 years,
dude. I just. Well,
last week, like I said, I had to get the show turned in because we weren't doing it on the 4th and all that. I was, happy 4th, and I was like, wait a minute. The first show we had was the first Saturday after the 4th of July in 2017. Yep. I remember the few weeks leading up to that. You come over to the house, they're at the office now, and over the Haywood.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And we sat there across the table and talked
about what we were. Yeah,
let's do it. And next thing I know, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, but I'll never forget the interview, if you'll call it, the audition. I guess technically it's an audition of me and you had to go sit in a room with Dan and Laura, of course. Yeah. And do our thing with no mic, no nothing, and sit there and give him a little bit of a. I was surprised at how that whole thing worked out. I mean, I remember us walking in there, we go into that studio, and we're talking, and the first thing Dan says to me is like, "Don't you gum." And I was like, because I was chewing gum, and I was like, okay, there's, Yep. And we spent 45 minutes. Yeah, it was like a full length of a show.
When I looked at him and I was like, so man, it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday?
It was during the week. Yeah, it was like a Wednesday. Thursday's in my head, but who knows? Yeah.
And so I looked at him after that. I was like, so you going to be here with us on Saturday? He's like, no, y'all got it. And I was like, damn, you're going to turn us loose after 45 minutes on live radio? And
yeah, right.
Yeah,
that was history.
That was yeah.
Yeah, it's some of those happy accidents,
Oh yeah,
I didn't know.
I had Kevin look over the monitor a couple times at me when I would say stuff.
Oh, when we first met Kevin, Kevin Mumfrey, he was the engineer there, and still does now. He does a lot of stuff for Fox News and stuff, and he's cameraman. He does, the Fox Mornings, he's out, up early and doing.
I knew he was doing something. I didn't know he was still doing it though.
Yeah, he does. That man doesn't stop.
No,
he's always doing something. But you say that, I still remember. You see his eye; he was popping his head up.
You see his eyeballs look at you like, "Dude, don't go any farther with that."
If you just tuned in today, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Sitting here recapping the last 9 years, and I wanted to talk to Chris because we kicked this thing off 9 years ago today, and it was. I was talking about this last week. Dan also said never go back in time when you're on the radio. I remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember him saying that about the gum, but he said you never go backwards because radio's you're always moving forward.
Makes sense.
But I fatally err that all the time because last week. Yeah. But what I'm trying to convey is that the whole dynamic of this show from what we've started, the evolution of it. I was bringing up some stuff like I didn't know certain things. We all learn something new. That's why the show's called Renovation Nation. Yeah. You renovate yourself daily. And you may not learn something new every day. Yeah. But if you can, do it. And if you do it, you adjust and you've renovated yourself. Well,
if you'll recall, one of our first sayings was that you don't know until you know.
True. And it really is a bad day when it's got a lot of zeros on it. When it's got a lot of zeros on it and you don't know what you don't know, that hurts.
Yeah, right.
That hurts. You don't make that again or make a decision because you don't know what you don't know. Hey, let's do a bathroom remodel. I still remember I wonder what the number is now, but back then, that very first show was about bathroom remodels. And we talked the whole show about it, and we got to the conclusion of if you didn't at least have $5,000 back in 2017, you didn't even need to get into the bathroom.
Oh, man, yeah, you can't.
That was $5 back then. That was basic. That was a basic one, but it was, if you don't have $5,000, just save up.
Yeah, well, and it's funny that since that's progressed, I'm not doing as many bathrooms as I used to do, but the one that pops up in my mind just to give, and of course, you can throw a lot of bells and whistles into a bathroom or a kitchen. Yeah. And the wife, the lady of the house is in charge. So usually, yes, you're going to get the bells and the whistles. And the most memorable bathroom I did for a guy, and it was an old farmhouse. And matter of fact, it's my man at Co-op that I'm dealing with, great guy, Ken Tucker. We spent a lot of money in that. In a 10 by 10, I was going to say the number until I said his name, and I don't want to tell his business, but it's way more than $5,000 these days. Yeah, it's way more. Yeah. If you're going to do a full bathroom remodel, and you're going to rip out the plumbing, which I suggest you do.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean rip out the plumbing?
Well, so like if you're digging into the wall and your house has been there for 20 years, when you want to replace your water lines, you want to replace your drain, you want to replace your control valve because you're fixing to spend, let's say a tile shower on average. If you just did you had a little 5-foot tub and you wanted to rip that out and put back tile and new.
Shower. Yeah.
You're going to spend $7,000-8,000. Yeah. You know what I mean? We just did a small one, and we just did the demo and relayed the tile, and it was $7,500. Yeah. So you don't want to go backwards and have to get into that.
The floor, the ceiling.
No. That's just taking the shower in a small floor area. Yeah. Fair enough. Now we put the radiant heat in there, which they have a really good radiant heat system these days.
So that is a couple gram or whatever, but still. That's just a shower.
Yeah, the radiant heat's actually pretty cheap. It's the controller that's the pad. Gotcha. It's the iPhone that goes on the wall. Yeah. It's not an iPhone, but that's what it looks like.
They should have an app for it nowadays.
Yeah, they do. Oh yeah, you can Bluetooth.
But you still got to have the controller.
Yeah, you still got to have it on the wall. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, you'll spend, just a small bathroom remodel, not including cabinets, paint, walls, sheetrock work, just demo and tile. You're $7,500 easy.
Yeah, and it was the whole bathroom back then for standard.
Yeah, well, and then
give or take a little small size.
And and it also depends on what kind of tile you pick out, what kind of flooring you pick out, what kind of control, like who you buying your plumbing from. Do you want body jets in the wall? Do you want a radiant heat floor? Which I will tell you, I highly recommend the radiant heat floor. People kind of scoff at it a little bit, but man, in the wintertime, when you jump out of that shower and your feet hit some nice little warm
Instead of that
tile,
cold tile, the house is cold.
Oh yeah, so
because you don't have enough insulation above your head.
I won't say names, but I had a husband and wife, and the husband wanted to do it, and his wife did not. And once that got in, she said I was wrong. This is fantastic.
This is needed.
Well, now you got the bidet toilets that are becoming a big thing with the heated seat and the motion detector. You walk by.
It's like vehicles. It's going to tell you you're too nervous to use the restroom. It's going to have a camera on it.
And there's a little blue light in the dark. A little motion sensor has a little blue halo light in there, and sometimes the seat will. Some of them have where you walk by, the seat will just raise up for you. You know what I mean? If you're a dude, you got one more seat to raise up. If you're smart,
I got you. Yeah. So the cover.
Just the lid will pop up, and then you have to,
Wow.
Yeah, and it's heated seats now. Warm your booty. It's.
And I guess the takeaway from all that though is everything is more expensive now too.
Everything. Look around. Look at land prices, home prices, everything.
But the income hadn't went up. Now I'm not going to jump off on all the stuff, but it's amazing of how the money is depleting out of accounts.
It is.
That's not just spendable anymore.
Yeah. Well, we've had one administration really threw the inflation out there, and people rolled through that year.
Because they had money coming in prior.
They rolled through that 4 years.
Pre-COVID,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
And but now we're seeing inflation again in this next administration.
It's only 3%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I heard 3%. Reality is like 25 on average.
Oh, right. And then if you tack on what it was the last 4 years, plus you're still getting in your savings, all of it, man. Well,
they set a new bar.
Oh, they did.
You know, they raised up a little bit. Like, we dropped 3.
Well,
we're back down.
You know,
we've lowered 3. Like, no, you haven't. You're still at 80.
Just like gas prices, you know.
Yes.
We bomb Iran, and then gas is 2 days later is $3.50 a gallon, and they refined that oil.
And it's the same gas that was in the
dude. They already refined that oil. That's you know what I mean. So
I know. We're sitting here with Chris Gailbreath. Yeah, we're reliving the first Saturday after 4th of July in 2017. It's Renovation Nation's birthday, but just want to remind everybody about that. And by the way, if it is time for your roof inspection before we get out of this segment, and or the heat's been getting in and your AC's right, and like, you know, I'm gonna actually play last week's show soon, because I talked a lot more about insulation, because we've been getting a lot of calls of the heat seeping into the house because your insulation is now about an R10 and not an R38 because it's compressed over years. So there's a lot of extreme value to that. But what I'm getting at is, if you're finding yourself in that spot, and or it's time for your annual roof inspection, give RTM Roofing a call at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out the contact card. You ain't got to click on anything else except the contact card. And for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and now home blown-in attic insulation needs. That's a lot. And right now, it does it every time. Here's the music, man. Here's the music. It's an art. It's an art, man. But yeah, I'm sitting here with Chris Gailbreath. I didn't even know what time it was there. You know what time it is, though. It's Renovation Nation. And we come back, we're going to be reminiscing about a lot of the stuff that went on over the years here and how we've evolved and what's changed. And heck, I don't know. We might give a few people a hard time. I don't know. Like old Congressman Grissom in McMinnville, Tennessee, and he knows who he is. He's running for it, I think. Anyways, we'll see you in 3. Hey, this is Chad with RTM Roofing and host of Renovation Nation. RTM Roofing's commercial division is looking for you. Are you a property manager? Do you own the building? Are you the business owner? You tired of leaks? You tired of chasing leaks? Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out the contact card, and let us help you out. And you know what time it is. You know you're back. You know you're back on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, because it's Renovation Nation time. Whew, I got to breathe. That was a long sentence. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we are live today. Yes, we are, because sitting here with Mr. Chris Gailbreath, the original OG of Renovation Nation. Here we come in with me. Did we ever figure out, well, I think we did one time. Did we ever figure out when you finally, because, you know, it was every Saturday, and ironically, you got probably drive just about as far out here as you did downtown Nashville.
It's a way better drive here, though, man.
It is. You know. Yeah, I agree with that. What was it? It was before COVID. It was like 2019. You did like 17, 18, and 19.
We were going into 20.
Yes.
We actually did some in 20, I thought, because that's
up until the shutdown before March.
Until the radio did. Yeah, they shut the studio down, and then we were still running around Nashville. That's when the tornado hit.
That's right.
And COVID hit at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an interesting time.
That was the same month I brought employees into the office.
Yeah.
Where we had a full-time office finally.
Yeah, that's right.
Instead of just being mobile and using this, it was actually all that.
But that tornado was crazy, man. That really ripped up down
Nashville.
Yeah, really ripped it up pretty bad. And we were down there a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we were.
Roads were blocked off. And
a house in the road.
Oh, yeah.
Golly,
That was 2020.
That was 2020. Yeah, that's what I remember thinking that, because it wasn't but a month later they shut everything down, like in 1st of April or March, 4 to 6 weeks away.
March, April. Yeah, because we had to have that little piece of paper, which nobody ever asked for. That said you were an essential worker.
Essential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember driving through Green Hills at 11 o'clock in the morning on Hillsboro, right in front of the mall, and made it through there in like 5 minutes. where normally,
everybody was all home, all freaked out. Yeah.
It was, they weren't on the road. I liked it. Actually, it was fairly neat being able to get where we wanted to go.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. One thing we were talking about, and, apologies to those of you that can't drive, but remember we were talking about it's the essential workers that know how to drive, because there was no traffic, there was no car accidents, there was no nothing, man. And everybody got around, you know what I mean?
Nashville turned into a 15-minute city again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're going to try to do it again, I guess. But nevertheless, it was some crazy times back then. I judge everything pre-COVID, post-COVID now. Because it's hard to remember. It all sort of just mingles.
And because then COVID just went away.
Yeah, and all that good stuff. And I know. But remember, we used to also have Shoestring call in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Brandon Mitchell. Brandon, he's coming, and you might have seen some of the shows on YouTube, but I don't know if I put his up or not. I can't remember. But regardless, he's come in. We've done like 4 or 5 shows over the it was about 6 or 8 months ago, last fall.
Yeah.
He come in, and we just were battering back and forth.
Man, I'm just going to throw it out there. What we should do is all 3 do a show here before too long.
We're going to. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Brandon the other day, and he brought up something about it'd be good to do one.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I miss the Shoestring calls. Those were funny, man.
I miss doing the live show, like being in the studio.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a drive.
Yeah.
But it was Saturday,
it's
and
a different
there
vibe.
wasn't that many people, and plus the traffic wasn't like it is today.
True.
True. That was kind of part of the draw to it, was being in the studio, doing it live, having Kevin eyeball me for pushing the limits on things I shouldn't say.
I get it. No, and you're right. It's a different atmosphere, and I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, now I'm out here at Studio 378, up on the hill here, and it's my office out this way, and it's different that I'm the only one in here. It's not the engineer's not here now, and all of that stuff, to the point that it's sometimes hard to get motivated. But when you go downtown, and when you do it live, there, that you've got there's something about no choice, and then there's no choice now, but it's different.
And we made a day out of it. We go over to the Mumbrium, have lunch. That's when old Carly was around. And
well, and a lot more guests. I can get more guests there than I could here, because I'm a little farther out now. But the guests are still the same. Everybody's scared to come on more than they're not. What I mean by scared is, you know what I mean.
I do, man.
You ask people,
I don't know, man.
I'm like, no, this is fun.
Because it is. You're just talking.
It's not a political show. I'm not here to go gotcha.
No.
Oh, you said $5, I can get it for $4.
Yeah.
So you're screwing people.
And it's not,
it's not
And if you stutter or say something stupid, so what, man? That's part of live radio.
And it happens quickly.
It does. It's done and over by the time you realize.
Like, man, I meant to talk about this, this, and this. As a matter of fact, you've got some things you're going to talk about here in a little bit, or you can just whenever you want to bring it up. When you feel the urge on things we talked about prior to the show. But the heat. What about the heat?
Man, dude, yesterday I have to admit, man, I hate it, but man, I don't like the heat as much as I used to.
Not that heat,
man.
That heat's hot.
I'm just, if it's above 90, I'm out there. I'm doing it. We're fixing to be doing this, tiling this pool, and I'm sitting there looking around trying to figure out where I can hang tarps and what I'm going to use for shade.
You need one of those hats with those umbrellas.
Yeah, I got a wide brim hat, but it don't matter, man. When it's hot,
it's hot,
and then you're in a pool.
Yep.
Right. There's no wind.
Air.
There's no wind moving around down there.
No wind,
and you got to keep the concrete wet, you know what I mean? So anyway.
And the heat's one thing.
Yeah.
Now there's hot, it's hot.
Yeah.
But when you get the 88% humidity and it's not raining outside, that's 100%. But still, it's right. I call it a 4-shirt day. I changed my shirts 4 times the other day.
Yeah.
Get on the roof, get back down soaked.
Yeah.
Just out there, 10, 15 minutes, not out an hour, not slinging hammers, just
being there.
Move a ladder, do your walk around, take your pictures, the routine.
Yep.
And wow, just it's hot. And we weren't able to do some roofs last week. It was too hot for the guys. I mean, you could work from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
But
then 4 p.m. to 7. But
that's not a good use of time, man.
No, because you can have pop-ups, you can have, and all kinds of, it's just not a good use of time.
No,
that's a good point. And so we're doing a little catch up now. And, but going back a little bit on the money thing, pre-COVID, whatever reason, who's ever credit, no credit, whatever, people had more money in the bank.
They did.
More liquid cash.
Yes.
Just sitting there in abundance. And then, of course, when COVID hit, it filled up even more a little bit because we got the checks or whatever they call
some
those.
people couldn't work.
And the PPE stuff, businesses that could keep people on, whether, some would keep them on, whether they're working or not, help them because they got to have bills. Everybody's got bills.
Yeah. And
so, but they were still money. Matter of fact, 2020 was was the biggest year RTM's ever had, because my philosophy is now, or my conjecture, I don't have the right word, my opinion is now, or actually I believe it's fact, more people were at home looking up their ceilings, seeing the stain, and they couldn't run to work when the wife said, when are you going to fix that?
Yeah, right.
I'm calling then.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
calling right now. You're going to deal with them.
Yeah,
and you're going to talk to them.
Yep.
And they did. And it was caused, now the tornado was one thing, that was an anomaly. But the rest of the year wasn't tornado stuff. Dude. It was people going, hey, because the honeydew list came out.
Oh, right.
Pools were out like 3 years. 2 years that time. I knew some pool people that they had booked for 2 years during COVID.
Yeah.
And some of them still are, but I've noticed a downtrend since about 21. 21 was still liquid.
Yep.
But things were going up. And the easiest way I've always learned, even listening to this station, to a lot of the great commentators here, or I've heard it many other places, but the same point is that the easiest way to tax everyone, because you can't tax everyone because there's brackets.
Right.
But the easiest way to tax everyone is raise all the prices. And everybody's got to pay.
Well, yes,
everybody goes into Kroger,
but
more than not.
Well, right, but you also since it's obvious that they're doing that, right?
Yes.
So now you have a choice to go without. Like I'm not falling into that trap.
Yeah.
Or
you don't have a choice or I say your choice is, what am I buying? Because I can't afford both.
What am I getting out of it? Right.
Yeah.
And what's
I can't get and when you go, and look, I'm not knocking any establishment anywhere, but when I go in and fill a cart up, a grocery cart, and it's $500, and it used to be $150 less than 5 years ago.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Hey, dude, I went to lunch yesterday to a little sandwich shop in Murfreesboro, and I'm not downing them, because I get it. Your commercial space, your
they're making
rent,
the same money they were before.
Your commercial rent's not cheap. Rent's gone up everywhere, and so, but man, so 2 sandwiches, which were very good, 2 bags of chips, and 2 drinks.
Okay,
$36.
Wow.
The
music's kicked on. Just letting you know, we got to say keep going.
Yeah, but anyway, that's just an example of how high things are really getting.
Yes, Yes. And if you'd went to the store, it'd have been 30 instead of 3.
Well, right when I go to Kroger, dude, I'm single, so I get 2 bags and it's $40.
Yeah, and that's what we got. And we're not going to be negative today, but that is part of the things we're talking about today. Is, well, you got to hang out for 3 more to find out. You listen to Renovation Nation. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Are you the type of person that takes pride in your home? Let RTM Roofing help with the exterior, with your roof, with your siding, with your soffit, fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps. Home insulation now too. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the contact card. Let RTM Roofing help you get ready for summer. Yes, we're back. You know we're back. Back live on Super Talk 99.7. It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Sitting here with Chris Gailbreath. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. Oh, yeah, music's still playing, but I'm going. We're on a mission today. But I just want to remind you again to get your roof inspected. If you haven't done it since you bought it, or you didn't do it last year, it's time again this year. Call 615. Actually, call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and now home blown-in attic insulation needs. Got that out of the way. Well, Chris, we're in the last segment of the birthday 9th anniversary. I guess it's the 9th anniversary. That'd be correct.
Wouldn't be a birthday. It'd be an anniversary.
It'd be an anniversary. I'm calling it a birthday, because we were sort of all reborn that day. It was wild.
Okay.
That first show was...
I'll let you go.
I played a lot of music.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of touring. I've done quite a few different things in front of people and this and that, but that was by far one of the, not weirdest, but... I had been stimulated that way.
He was nervous that day. He was more nervous than I am, and I'm. That's not usually the case.
I need a guitar and not the mic.
Yeah,
I appreciate that easier.
Yeah.
But anyway, what all? I know we've talked everything under the sun today, but what all you been up to recently?
Well, man, I'm not doing as many bathrooms as I used to do, as we talked about. I'm doing some unique projects. Mm-hmm. I got one that I've never done before, and it's for Co-op in Woodbury, Tennessee.
I know where that's at.
And as you drive around Middle Tennessee, you can see all the farms being sold off.
Yep.
Farming's kind of going away, so Co-op has decided they're going to expand what they do, and they had an old tire shop built in 1960. It was out of red iron. I mean, old building's been hit at the top, been run into from the side, and we're going to turn it into a gun store for them. And that has been challenging, to take a 60-year-old tire shop and turn it into a clean retail space.
I get it.
And it's been, we've had some challenges.
I've been on some roofs of buildings like those. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We've had some challenges, and but we've overcome. Mm-hmm. And so I want to give a shout out to these guys, because they're planning on opening on Labor Day weekend.
Oh.
And so it's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be a big turn.
Done?
I was talking to Ken this morning about that. We're pushing it, but I think we're going to be there.
Yeah.
But I just want to let y'all know what this is. This is the place is going to be called Cannon County Outfitters. It's a small town gun store with old school vibe, specializing in all your hunting and shooting needs: rifles, shotguns, handguns, range gears, hunting accessories, and a large variety of ammunition. And it's located at 400 McMinnville Highway in Woodbury, Tennessee. And like I said before, the grand opening will be Labor Day weekend. The first 100 customers will receive a raffle ticket for a free gun.
Nice.
So, man, y'all go by and see my man Will Boone and his dad. They're the two that are going to be running it. Great guys. They know exactly what they're talking about, and they're excited to get that going there.
Gun shops.
Yeah. Well, and there's not a gun store in Woodbury.
Well, that's
well. Let me take that back. There's one, but it's in a residential house, right? And so these guys are going to be there, and
they put a storefront on it.
They put a storefront on it, and it's easy to get to. And if you're tired of dealing with like Murfreesboro traffic, or McMinnville or Sparta doesn't have what you're looking for, it's a short drive. And like I said, traffic in itself to get to Woodbury versus going into Murfreesboro.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, we've talked about it earlier.
Oh man, it's not. It ain't.
It's not the C word anymore.
Well, right. Well, and just like we were talking about property prices, and not to go off on a tangent, but. Man, they auctioned off, just to give people where I live. I'm in the county.
Yep.
I'm in Las Casas, but Walter Hill area. They auctioned off it was 3 different lots in one patch of ground, and one of them was 1.17 acres.
Okay, I thought you were going to say 1.17 million, but
well, 1.17 acres. Mm-hmm. It auctioned off for $242,000.
Wow. Yeah, it's everything. It's everything.
And
like we've been talking.
They ain't making no more land.
They're not.
2 things I wish I'd have done sooner: bought more property and more Bitcoin.
Yep.
Because that's where your value is going to be in the future.
I wish I
got value now, but
there'd be 2 things. I wish I got my butt whooped harder and woke up a little earlier.
We talked about my buddy Dale, and him telling me about Bitcoin and me telling you about that.
That leads me. That it was the first year. It was one of the first. A matter of fact, hey, our first guest was Gary Ashton.
That's right.
That was we brought in a guest, at least the first guest that came in.
Yeah,
we did the show and then got him to come in.
Yep.
Because that wasn't the same day. Because we talked bathrooms at the first show.
But
I think the second show was Gary. The first guest was Gary Ashton.
Yeah, it was.
And but one of those shows, it might have been even the Gary one. But nevertheless, within that month of July, 9 years ago, You can't. I remember we were sitting there getting ready for the show because we'd get there an hour early,
Yep.
And so we're sitting there, and you're like, "Hey, I've been doing this research about this Bitcoin. You need to look at this Bitcoin." I'm like, and I remember I said, "We'll talk later." And we were leaving, walking down that ramp, we used to do and stuff. And I remember looking back at you, going, "What am I going to do with Bitcoin? It's what am I going to do with the internet?" You're bringing the internet. What am I going to do with the internet?
Yeah, or Amazon.
All of that.
Yeah.
Man, I go to the store down here and get what I want.
Well, and see, the funny thing about Bitcoin people don't understand is when it first came out in 2011, is that when it was? 2012? Somewhere in there.
Yep.
It was a nickel.
Yep.
After Trump won the presidency this last election, it jumped to $126,000.
That's right.
So over the course of 20 years...
Yep.
If you would have put $100 in Bitcoin when it first came out,
I could do the math. Divide it by 0.5
dude,
or 0.05.
Dude, you wouldn't be working. As a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't be listening to this radio show. You'd be living on the beach somewhere having,
And I found, I talked to somebody that they used it, a lot of people used it back in the day for video gaming and stuff, for something with games. That was what it was. It was gaming money. Well, I don't play those games. I remember saying that.
Yeah.
And then you called me back in I think it was late 2019 or early 2020, and you called me and said, "Hey, XRP is down to 30." And I was like, by that time, I'd already, 2 years later, 2 to 3 years later, I'm like, oh, well, let me, and there's a whole story with that, but we're not getting into that. But the point being is that, no, it's coming. People whether it's A, B, or C, it doesn't matter. Blockchain technology is coming. AI is coming. The prices are everything's high right now. And people are having to make decisions on a lot more people than before having to make decisions on, do I buy A or B?
Yeah.
I can't have both.
And I'll tell you, this is so out there by me on highway.
A roof is always B to most people in my industry.
It is. It's and sometimes C, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But so just to give you an example about property prices and inflation, there's two neighborhoods. I live between 231 and 96 in Murfreesboro. On 96, I don't know how many houses are over there, but it's an entire neighborhood of rentals. And they're not small rental houses, right? And then over there
like 2,000 square foot rental, 2,500 square foot rentals. They're not
with 2-car garages.
1,500 or 1,200 square feet.
And then over there on 231, they're building another one that's got 100 and some odd rental houses right there at 231, right by the Walter Hill Dam.
Yep.
So these corporations are building these neighborhoods because they know that property is getting so high, it's going to knock a lot of people out of them. They can bring that rent down to where that's still higher than it used to be, but not as high as a house payment, and you've got a constant flow of income.
It's true, but it's almost just a little bit more than that. They're definitely buying people. The starter home now is what, $350,000?
Yeah, my first house, $99,000, and almost got money back at the closing table.
You see what I mean? And so now when you go to rent, and here's another thing about renting we discovered, or I got told by someone that was doing it, was that, that a lot of firms manage properties now. Most people aren't renting it themselves.
Yes.
And it's all AI already, that they need access to your bank account. Not to be able to move money and this and that, but my personal opinion is see what you're spending on, because you can't give a bank statement now. They want access to the account to view it. Yeah.
To rent a house?
They searched 4 different properties, 3 different companies, and none of them will take a bank statement, but they want your login. Yeah, it's a wild world. Yeah, but it's Chris blows up. Well, happy birthday, Chris. And
you get in my bank account.
We're going to do this again, but you're listening to Renovation Nation. Thanks for listening. Check us on YouTube. If you need some roofing or insulation, call RTM Roofing. See ya. Thanks for watching Renovation Nation. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button.